Hey Keith, thanks for joining my YouTube channel. This is sort of an organic thing that I'm just trying out for YouTube and more specifically for small business audiences and for HR professionals that work in small spaces. So, hey, again, thank you for coming on.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Yeah. So earlier we were talking about what you were doing. Catch us up on a day of the life of a HR professional because it looks like you're in your office.
You know what? My calendar is sort of a fluid thing. I start out the morning thinking I'm going to be doing X, Y, Z, and I end up doing something completely different. It's kind of the it's kind of one of the things I like about HR is that it's a very organic job.
Yeah.
It's not an 8 to 5 doing the exact same thing day in day out. I don't think I could thrive very well in that environment. So, for instance, end of our fiscal year, we're doing issuing performance bonuses for our folks. We're getting ready to process annual increases, and our open enrollment for our insurance is just about to open up here as well, which is always kind of a hectic time for us.
Yeah, open enrollment can be pretty hectic because a lot of times people don't know what's going on. They don't know how to understand their plans, and it can just be this crazy thing where HR comes in to save the day. What are some tips that you have, or what works for you when it's open enrollment time?
You know what? Don't assume that anybody knows anything. Even if you've told them 20 times before, you can guarantee there's going to be a handful of people that are going to look at you like you have three eyes and say, "What? When did we start that?" Oh, about 10 years ago. So basically, come at it like a clean slate and just go from there.
Cool, man. Cool, cool, cool. So those are your tips for helping out with open enrollment, which we all every year that's something we all have to face.
Mhm.
Let's talk about something. Oh, another question. If you weren't in HR, what do you think you'd be doing instead?
What would I be doing? You know what? That's a good question. I haven't actually thought about that for a while. I don't. I guess anytime I've sort of allowed myself to sort of wander and thinking about what are some other options, I don't. I always seem to come back to finding a reason that I wouldn't enjoy it as much as what I do now.
Yeah,
Um, I guess it's sort of I'm sort of a little bit of a masochist there because I'm kind of it's kind of a high pressure high. There's some days where you just walk home feeling like you went 10 rounds with Frazier, but it's rewarding too because you're directly contributing to the organization's success. And I'm lucky enough to work for a company where I'm not just administrative HR. We're not just in the corner doing paperwork and open enrollment. Even though those are things we do, I get to be very involved in the strategic side of the company, and I really like that. So
yeah.
I honestly don't know. I'm going to answer it with a non-answer. I don't really know.
No, that's cool, man. I mean, it sounds like you found your purpose and hit your stride. So, what
I
better
think
fit
so.
than a great fit? You know, um, what what misconceptions do you hear about HR from people that are not within HR that you'd like to set the record straight on?
They People tend to think that we enjoy firing people, or we enjoy disciplining people, or we're there walking around with our clipboard, looking for things that people are doing wrong and ready to wag our finger at them. Like we enjoy that kind of stuff. We don't. We hate it.
Yeah,
That's the absolute worst part of my day. I always go home feeling just like crap if there's someone that we have to release. I don't like it. I want people to do their best. I want someone to thrive in our work environment. I think that's the biggest misconception. And then the other part is that we're just kind of dry and we don't like to have fun, and we're kind of the wet blanket that gets thrown over the party. And anybody who knows HR people realizes that we enjoy our happy hours, we enjoy our opportunities to get away from our desk for a bit because we need that opportunity to recharge. And
yeah,
it gets us from one day to the next, and one week to the next.
yeah. And I feel like in that regard, we're no different than Bob in accounting or Sally in marketing. Like
Mhm.
we're all humans. We all show up to work. We all want to perform our best, but at the same time, work is stressful, and we want to have a good time, enjoy, recharge, relax, and go back the next day and do it all over again.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, man. So let's switch gears a little bit and talk about SHRM. And
Hmm.
you're going to be at the conference. This is your first year as a blogger. Is that right?
It is. It's my seventh year attending, but yeah, I had the opportunity to to be on the blog squad this year, and it's a lot of so far I've done a couple interviews with some speakers, one of which was yourself, and um, really looking forward to the conference. It's going to be there's always you take so much from it. It's so huge that the hardest part is sort of making it small enough and tailoring it to yourself that you can actually make your way around and feel like you've accomplished and gotten what you can from
Yeah, I like to equate SHRM to like a mini university. It's like
it. Hmm.
when you show up to conference, there's tens of thousands of people there from different backgrounds. There are courses you can take or sessions. I call the sessions courses. That's the
Hmm.
teacher in me. But there are sessions you
Hmm.
can take, people you hang out with, events you can attend. It's like having a college campus for 4 days in one location, and then we all go off afterwards and we learn and grow and we apply what we've learned. So yeah, it's
Hmm.
all about making it small and tailored to you because there's probably tens of thousands of people that are going to be there. You can't meet them all. You can't shake hands with them all. You can't get all their Twitter handles and all that. But it's quite a cool experience, especially on the blogger side. And I
Yeah.
wanted to know what are you most excited about as a blogger on the space as opposed to just attending as a regular attendee?
Sure. You know, I always take so much from from the sessions that I go to, but I think um, I always if I always feel like in the long run I learn more from the people that I meet at SHRM versus the sessions at SHRM. I mean, SHRM sessions are phenomenal, and I don't mean that to sound like I'm talking down about them or that they're not super high quality, because they are. But at the end of the day, it's the connections, the people that you get to engage with and form long term friendships with, and you can use those folks as resources when you get jammed up with a situation. I mean, another misconception, and actually I should have mentioned this before, is they assume that HR has all the answers. I hate to break it to you, but that's farthest from the truth. And
Yeah,
so there are times that we're looking at a situation and think, the heck am I going to do here? I have no idea. So it's nice to have that resource of people that you can bounce ideas off of. And, you know, it never fails. There's always someone that's been through that before on some level and can say, here's what I did, or here's how I kind of broached that situation. It gives you a starting point. So, but
yeah,
from a blogging end, I think I'm really looking forward to engaging with a lot more people that are doing presentations, not just in sessions, but also like the smart stage. Looking forward to spending some more time there, and I've heard a lot of excellent things about that in past years, and looking forward to engage with some of the people that are presenting there.
yeah. The smart stages are cool. They're like TED talks,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of information that someone goes. They pick one subject, they go very deep on it in a pretty fun and engaging way. I did one last year that was pretty fun. And you mentioned that you like the relationship side in addition to the sessions. So, like, the sessions are cool because I remember attending a conference in the midst of all the overtime law changes that were
Mhm.
coming down the pike, and to be able to go
Oh
and
yeah.
attend a session with someone from the DOL that's like on the policy side, that was super fascinating. But then also to your point about the relationship piece, and I'm adjusting my seat. I've got to show the O's here. It's opening day, so
Yes.
we're
All right.
excited.
Go for it.
But the piece about friendships, I think some of my my closest best friends in HR are ones that I've met through conference, ones that I've
Mhm.
met through social media, ones who I've met through the blog squad. So, and that is like a critical piece that I'm excited for you to check out and get some more friends in your Rolodex and some collaborative partners. You know, we collab on
Mhm.
things all the time. So I'm excited for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And having been on using social media for the past couple of years, I've been pretty very active on the with Twitter and LinkedIn, and have have already formulated a lot of friendships with some HR folks, and looking forward to meeting those folks in person, because most of them I only correspond with through the screen, and looking forward to meeting those folks in person.
Yeah, man. So I'm doing a Smart Stage presentation at SHRM Talent in April, talking about social media for HR professionals. So, what
Mhm.
tips would you have for an HR professional that's looking to get into social media or
I think
maximize if
just
they're already in it?
Sure. I mean, if you're not already in it, I think just start somewhere. Start following some hashtags on Twitter, for instance, that are going to get you in touch with some pretty amazing people. Following the hashtag HR Tribe, following hashtag HR on Purpose. Steve Brown, wrote the book HR on Purpose, and it's sort of encapsulates the mindset of why we do HR. We're not here to do HR because of rules and policies. We're here to do HR because we want to make our people better. And following that one, following the next chat, Twitter chats weekly, HR hour. Um, some of the other ones that are out there, and so that you'll see who's talking, you'll see who has some things to share, and you'll kind of zero in on the people that you really feel you'd like to engage with, and just shoot them a private message, or and say, hey, I'd love to connect with you. And something that I found about HR people, and on social media in general, is that they're very welcoming, and they're
Hmm.
very quick to say, hey, come on in and join the party. And so when I did that a couple years back, I was really welcomed by a lot of people, and it made me feel like I'd known these people for a while, even though I really didn't.
Yeah.
So I think you just really have to start somewhere. Take one step forward, and take another, and take another, and next thing you know, you're kind of shoulder deep in the conversation.
Yeah, man, get your feet wet. Get your Twitter feet wet. Your LinkedIn feet wet. There's no better time than now because you might as well master these systems because who knows, 2 years time there might be a new one that people are jumping on, and so
Yeah.
get in while you can. Let's talk about your blog. You're on the blog squad, so that means you got a blog. You're writing. What's your site? What's your angle? What can readers expect from checking out your site?
Yeah, sure. I started blogging last June after SHRM 17, and just kind of had a chance to chat with Mary Kaler, who runs the SHRM blog, and had the opportunity to do a few guest blogs for them, and then decided that I'm just going to dive right in and start my own. So it actually launched in March. So at the time I joined the blog squad, I didn't actually have a blog, so I kind of backed into it. But
That's
my the
another cool tip. Start before you're ready. Jump in. And
hey,
then,
if you're waiting for the right time, you're going to miss it. So make now the right time. There's nothing really to wait on.
yeah.
But the URL for the site is keithenochs.com. But the kind of the title of the blog is Working Title HR. And I it's kind of an interesting story how the title came to be. I was sat down to build the site. I didn't really have a title, a concept as of that point, but I just need to start somewhere. And so I put working title in the place where the title is, and I started building. And then all of a sudden, I look at that the one day, I'm like, well, that's actually kind of cool. And I had read this quote a few days prior. It's and I couldn't find who it's attributed to, but it says, "I'm better than I was. I'll be better than I am." And it sort of spoke to me. We're always on a journey, and we're evolving as professionals all the time. Even while we're trying to help our people evolve and grow, we're doing the same. And so or at least I should say, the people that are passionate about what they do are always evolving. Some people are stagnant, and that's the reality. But so anyway, I realized that that's actually, I think, what kind of the the genesis of what I want what I want the blog to be, really focusing on our journey, whatever that journey happens to be. It's
Yeah.
working with purpose, and pushing yourself to just be a little bit better than the day before. And so yeah, I'm super excited, having a lot of fun with it, and um, taking one step at a time.
Nice, nice, nice. And that site again is Working Title HR. Is it workingtitlehr.com or is it Working Title? People can search for that in Google.
You can search for it. I'm not sure how high up it'll be on the search results yet, because it's relatively new. But if you go to keithcenochs.com, KeithCenochs.com, That's the domain.
Sweet, sweet. All right, and you had a blog on there that caught my attention about context and how context is important in conversations. Walk us through, first of all, what it's about, and then also, you know, what the what the origin story of that was. Like, how did you get to, like, I think this is worth writing about.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. The blog, the posts that I've done so far have mostly been from experiences that I have had that just sort of triggered something in my mind. It got me thinking about, the importance of that interaction, not just surface level, but kind of, taking one step down. The other day I was walking by my coworker and I said, "Hey Denise, good morning," and she said, "Hey Keith." And I stopped and I looked back at her and I walked over and I was waiting for her to ask me whatever question she had. And she looked up at me wondering why the heck I was standing there staring at her. And it turns out that she was just saying good morning to me, but it's a context issue. Well, I heard, "Hey Keith," comma, as in ready to ask you some, I need to ask you a question.
Mhm.
And she had a different message, the same words, and something as simple as, a greeting can be taken two different ways. It got me to thinking, well, what are the implications when we have more meaningful conversations, more critical conversations, when we sit down trying to iron out a work relationship between two people, or doing an investigation into maybe a potential wrongdoing by someone.
Mhm.
The implications of context are endless. And I think a lot of people have some work to do in the area of listening because they don't always pick up the context, and they're reading things at the surface of what are the words that are coming out of the person's mouth, and instead of actually listening for the purpose of trying to learn something about that person and where they're coming from, they listen to respond, and
Yeah.
they feel like they need to listen just long enough to where they feel like they can go back at the person with something else, usually taking something that they said and actually flipping the script back on them. That's never going to get you anywhere. All that's going to do is it's going to be this stupid little cycle where you keep going back and forth and nothing ever gets accomplished. Digging your toes at your heels into the sand. But instead, if you listen and enter into a conversation, trying to understand the other person's frame of context, that much more likely that you'll be able to come away from it with a better relationship with the person, or at least more understanding than you had before.
Yeah. So, do you have any advice for people on growing in that skill, or is it more of an observation and you're also kind of working your way through understanding that aspect of communication?
It's I think the advice that I would have is hold your tongue, basically. Um, when someone is listening to you, instead of responding to their comment, or with something that you have to say, maybe ask them for a clarifying question about what you heard them say. And it could be something as simple as "tell me more," or it could be as something like, "Well, here's what I hear you're saying, and am I hearing you right?" Maybe you are hearing them right, maybe you're not hearing them right, but it's important that you understand their message, and not just their message, but why the message is what it is. Why do they feel the way that they feel? And it's something that I still, I work on in my own professional life. I've had some people that I would consider mentors that have actually helped me in this area, learning not to just respond or listen for the sake of being able to respond to the person, but listening to really learn and comprehend what they're trying to say.
Awesome. Well, hey, we're gonna cut it. Got a coffee break coming up soon, and I've got some
Yeah.
videos to do. I've got a training call, and it's opening day, so I'm gonna get out there and do some.
There you go.
But Keith, it's a pleasure chatting with you. Looking forward to connecting you IRL in real life. And,
There you go.
and thanks for having me on your blog, man. We'll add that to the links here for the YouTube, and we'll get it up
Absolutely.
in the blogger channel.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me, man. It's been a pleasure, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.
Cool, Keith.
All right. We'll see you.